Hello everyone, welcome back to another video tutorial with Mr. Urius. Sorry man, it just never gets old. I think I'm funny. Okay guys, so lesson 4. Hue and saturation. Okay. On this assignment guys, I have actually 2 images, and one is just to kind of give you guys some kind of like some wow, pretty cool stuff with, and then the second one is to give you a practical use for what I'm about to show you guys. Okay, so again, in order to get started guys, you got to do the save image as and save image as. Okay, right click, save the image, right click, save the image. Make sure that that is going to a folder that you can find. Hopefully you guys all have a graphic design folder in the OneDrive. Alright, once we have those saved, then let's go ahead and open up our Photoshop. Okay, and we're going to go open. And we're going to go find those. So I think I'm going to do this one. Okay. Okay, so this is the image that we're going to work with. And the reason why this image is easy to use is because we have simple colors. Literally, basically 2 basic colors that we're looking at. We have our reds here, and to the naked eye, it kind of seems like it's green, right? The mind's eye anyway. What you look at this, you see this, and some of it is the fact that in a real life that you're looking at it, you just know that common sense tells you it's green, okay? But we're going to talk about why that might be a misconception here, all right? So again, we are onto the adjustments, and we are at this adjustment here, hue and saturation. All right, so we'll go ahead and click on that. Notice that in our layers panel, we have created another layer with the layer mask. Okay, so the first one, it is currently on master, and we're going to work with hue first, all right? And when I slide this around, you'll notice the changes in our flower, okay? But notice how it changes everything. It changes the petals, it changes the stem, it changes the flower itself, okay? Kind of psychedelic, acidy trip type stuff, right? But if I want to isolate a specific color, I have to come up here and I actually have to select the correct hue of the color, all right? And hue is just a fancy word for like solid, the actual pigment color, okay? So our pigments can be red, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and magentas, okay? Anyways, that is kind of like that definition of hue, all right? So as you can see, it looks mainly reds up here, and if we select it correctly, then that should be the only color that changes. And you can see that that red one is correct, okay? So we can kind of give it some pretty vibrant red, all right? And then the saturation slider, guys, we can kind of change the saturation to that color, okay? Pretty cool. Basically, you never are going to change the lightness or darkness and lightness of this. Really, we're just talking about hue and saturation, okay? And now with that stem I was talking to you about, we know that generally speaking it's green, but look what happens when I select green, okay? I grab this, now watch the stem. As you can see, not much is happening right now, okay? And that's because actually when you zoom in and you look at this, we actually have like a lot of different yellows, okay? So we're going to go ahead and select yellow, and now if we select it correctly, now you can start to see that stem change color. Notice how the flower itself is not. So we can kind of do something like this, and now we brought in a color, a picture that maybe we really wanted to use, and we give it at least what we feel to be a natural color of that image, okay? But in Photoshop, guys, not that this is not like a realistic use of it, but it's generally not used routinely, just because this is like a specific example for class purposes. But when we get into Photoshop, down the road, I'm going to teach you guys a little bit more about layer masks. You guys learned a little bit about that when we were doing the decorative pattern, but we're going to get into it more when we're actually talking about imagery, okay? And so one that is a little bit more practical, actually, guys, is this other file here. We're going to go File, Open, and it's going to be this, this one right here, okay? This image right here. This one is one that is a little bit you know, most commonly used in Photoshop, and the image doesn't look bad, but if you look at the grass, if you were trying to really get something that is really great for like advertisement, you know, newspaper, magazines, and you really want to bring out some of the vibrant colors, you can see that this grass is starting to tinge a little bit to the yellow, okay, and not really those greens. And if you look around, there's actually lots and lots of yellows, and I know sometimes it's hard to understand. It took me a while to really understand hue and pictures and stuff like that when I was taking courses, but I think it'll eventually stick with you. Okay, so let's go ahead and look and see what that looks like. So when we go to adjustments, again, we're on that hue and saturation. Created that layer mask. I just like to point out and, you know, and show you guys that that's happened. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right into the yellow. Okay, and again, guys, a green, if we select green, which you would think would work, right, and we start changing it, you can see really not much is happening on our grass. Slight, but nothing really bold and vibrant, right? So let's go ahead and go to yellows, and now watch the grass, okay? When I slide that up, now you can see we're actually getting some pretty deep greens, right? Some really deep green grass, and we go the other way, we start to run into a little bit even more yellow, okay? So let's say, you know, somebody had asked us, hey, I'd like to really, you know, have this for my advertisement. I want this land to look awesome. I'm going to post it. I need to sell the property for farming. So let's really make this green grass look lush, like it's going to grow some really nice crops, for example. Okay. And then the next is maybe we want to change the sky a little bit. So we would hit the drop down, and then we would probably play with our cyans and our blues. So let's go ahead and click on a blue because, you know, we kind of generally speak, and you can see the changes to our sky. Okay, I didn't really play with the saturation on that, but you can. Okay, this is more like plug and play, guys. Let's go ahead and check the cyan, see what that kind of does. You can see cyan makes a little bit bigger impact, right? All right, so you can kind of see that. Maybe we slide it over a little bit like so, and then maybe we saturate that. A little bit more blue coming in there. So anyways, something like that, guys. This is hue and saturation. Okay? Give that a go, and I will see you on the next video.